Guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you 2 stitches in one video. So what I have is a basic foundation chain with a few double crochet. So what I'm going to show you and give you an explanation of is how to work in your front loop and your back loop all in the same video. So I've got my swatch here, so what I'm just going to do is turn, and I'm going to chain 1 here, and I'm just going to do a regular single crochet in my first stitch and get that one out of the way. Now I'm going to turn my swatch here, my example piece, up so that you can see my explanation first of all, as soon as I can get it here in position. Okay. Now, so if you're looking at your stitch, I'm going to put my needle under the first stitch. If you're looking at your stitch, what you're seeing a loop here and a loop here. Okay, so your stitches are going to be made up most of the time of 2 loops. You're going to have what's called your front loop, and then you're going to have what's called your back loop. Okay, so patterns very often, depending on what you're making, do request that you work only in the front loop or only in the back loop. And most of the time they do that because working in one loop or the other will give your project some sort of ridge. Like when you're working in the back loop, for instance, with a baby booty like this right here, I'm going to lay that down a second. Working in the back loop gives the baby booty, the sole of it, gives it this look right here, gives it a ridge and helps it to be flatter. And it also helps things like flaps to kind of give it a fold. And it can, working in the front loop can do that as well, but it'll go the other way. So when a pattern is telling you to work only in the front loop, you're going to go in between these and you're going to go only in that front loop, and same thing for the back loop, but you're just going to go in the back loop. So I'm going to take my needle out. Now if your pattern's calling for you to only do a single crochet in that front loop, you're just going to go in the front here and you're just going to go under that front loop. You see your back loop is still back here. We're not going under both. We're going in between them actually. And then it's simple. All you do is a single crochet. Nothing fancy, nothing hard. And you've done it. A simple working in your front loop. That's all there is to it. So again, the next one we're going to do in the front loop again. You're just going to go under that front loop and do a single crochet. And then you'll tighten that up a bit, because working in one loop or the other tends to loosen up the work a little bit. So you want to make sure to tug on that tail a little bit. So again, look at your work, go in between those 2 loops and grab that first one and then do a single crochet. Tighten up that work a little bit. And then you'll just do that all the way across your work. And you do that to the end. Nothing hard about that. All you're doing is going in one loop or the other. And this one we're only going in the front, so do not make a mistake of going in the back or both. Now once you get to the end here, there is a stitch here. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to pull that up for you as soon as I can get the whole thing in there and turned around. Now if you see, there's 2 loops there. Okay, the end ones you always got to work for. So make sure when you put your hook in there, these are the ones that always give people problems on the ends, and you end up with the triangle effect on your work where it ends up going at an angle like a triangle. I do have a tutorial on it. It's called the triangle effect, I believe, and it teaches you more about that. But if you forget this last stitch, that will happen. So you just want to go into that very front loop and do a single crochet. Okay, now that is your front loop. Very simple. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1 here and we're going to turn. Okay, now let's just do a row of single crochet all the way across. I'm going to back my camera up a bit. So just single crochet all the way across your piece for me. So you just learned how to do a front loop, working in your front loops, I'm sorry. And you did that in a single crochet. Whether you're doing it in half double crochet, triple crochet, anything, it's the same process. You're just going in the front loop, and then all you're doing is completing your desired stitch. That's all there is to it. Okay? Now if you'll look here, you see that ridge that made? It just gave you a ridge. Okay? So now we did our single crochet row. Now we're going to chain one and we're going to turn back. Now I'm going to bring my camera back in. Now I'm going to single crochet in the beginning stitch. Now we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it in the back loop only. Now I've got my 2 stitches here again with my needle. Now here's where we worked before. Now you see the back stitch? Now we're going to go only in the back stitch. So you, instead of going from the front, you go in between them from the top. That way you can get that back one only. So you see I went from in the middle there, and I went diagonally and got that back loop. So then you just complete your single crochet. Tighten it up and you've done it. So you go right in the center. You see that right there? Just don't come forward. You want to go backward. Okay? And then single crochet. So go into the top and go back, and you've got that back loop. Because you see, here's your front loop. Your front loop is still right up here in front. And that's where it needs to stay when you're doing a back loop. So now you just work those across. And again, just like with the front loop, whether you're working half double, double, single, triple, quadruple, whatever you're working, same process. It just depends on what loop you're going in. So you just work across your row. Don't forget that last one. And right there's that stitch. It's sticking up waiting on you. So there you go. And put it in there. Now I'm going to back up just a hair. Now you see that ridge that one made? Okay. Now if you look on the back, that's where your front loop made the ridge. If you look on this side, this is where your back loop. Sorry, front loop made it there, back loop made it here. Okay? And that's all there is to it. You have your back loops that you worked in, and you have your front loop that you worked in. There's nothing more to it. You're just going in one stitch or the other, and like I said, they're just there to give you a ridge. They do serve a purpose. I have a single crocheted afghan. That was my very first project. Fits a full-size bed. I did for my husband Chris, and man, was that a lot of work, because I did it all in single crochet and I did it all in back loops. So that project broke me in, and from there on I was just gone with it. But that's how you do your front and your back loops in single crochet or double crochet, half double crochet, whatever you choose to do it in. It's the same procedure. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial, and that's your front and back loop stitches. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy hooking.